Hello, hello, just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I am continuing my March movie madness featuring Marvel. It's more for my own entertainment at this point than for anybody else's. But I quite enjoyed it last time, so I'm going to keep going. I think I've only got maybe one more after this, or maybe this is the last one. I can't work it out because I didn't upload on Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure where I am, and I'll work that out later. I'm going to use, I know I've used this recently, but for the two characters I've got in mind, this is ideal. And I'm not going to be holding this up and showing you what shades I'm using. I might resort to a picture in the corner because look at the size of it. But this colour story is very appropriate for the two characters I have in mind, because one is predominantly yellow and the other is predominantly red. Any guesses who those two characters might be? I'm not going to make you guess, it's just for funsies, so you know, if you want to pause and have some fun commenting down below who you think the two characters are, feel free to do so. Have you had a guess? Have you had a guess? It is, of course, Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm going to go straight in there. I have primed my lids with the Gloss Gods Clear Primer, which I've been doing a lot lately, and I'm wondering, this is going to be interesting, because this is Beauty Bay, and the formula is decent, but it's going to be really interesting to see how these yellows perform over a clearer base, like a non-light base. I'm going to pick up a Made by Mitchell ME3, and I'm going in with the shade Turmeric here, which is actually more of an orange, but that's okay, because I want to see about building a sort of base almost to work around. See, already I'm like, yeah, you should have used a different base. That's not going to look yellow at all. Right, let's scrap that. Be perfect, perfect priming canvas. I almost feel like I want an even lighter primer. Okay, let's see how we get on with this base. Might not be light enough though, but we'll see. Turmeric, let's try this again. So, a bit more orangey, as I say. I want to try a bit of a different eye shape if I can. Perhaps it won't end up being a different eye shape, but maybe just like a slightly different style. We'll see. It might just end up looking exactly the same as it always does. I was very close to using, I think, Calavera from Gorman Girls looked like it might be a good option, because I know that there's a yellow in there that I like, and I'm trying to think, is there a red in there? Have I imagined a red in there? It's definitely very orange, but stay with me. This is an ME2 from Made by Mitchell, and we're going to go into blonde. So that's a little bit lighter than Turmeric. It's definitely looking decidedly orange rather than yellow, isn't it? Wiping off that pigment, and I'm going to go into Daffodil. This is a very yellow shade, so I'm hoping this can give the yellow that this needs. It might end up being that I get the yellow predominantly from a shimmer. Let's see. So this is my refer number 1, and I've just gone straight into Daffodil there. And I'm seeing if I can get more yellow involved. It's definitely going to be all in the shimmer, isn't it? I've somewhat lost the orange, but I'm not sure that's a bad thing. Let's get a yellow shimmer involved and see if I can bring this back. NYX Glitter Primer. So there's one solitary yellow shimmer in here, and that's called Sun. So let's see what Sun looks like when I whack that on. Yep, that's pretty yellow. I'm now wondering if I should have done almost like a yellow, like a black base and put this on. But when you see what I'm gonna do later, this might make more sense. Possibly. Silicone applicator into Sun. Now this could go horribly wrong because now I've said that about adding black. I'm going into that Raven shade. This could ruin everything. Yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have started, I think, with a black. And then almost, or maybe even I could have started with the yellow, put the black over the top, then put the shimmer shade. I think that would have worked. That's more Wolverine-y. It was a bit too airy before. It wasn't gritty enough. It wasn't deep enough. But I do think I've brought that back. I do think so. Do I do something similar for Deadpool? Is that too on the nose? Red. A red. There's actually only one true red in here. Refa 15, and the red shade in here is called Lipstick. And I'm kind of going to attempt do what I think I should have done on this side in the order I should have done it. It still looks okay, but let's see. Refa 13 back into that black shade, which in here is called Raven. Let's get that NYX involved again. I think Deadpool might get 2 shimmers. Let's give Deadpool 2. I don't know how different they're going to look on the lid, but let's see. I'm just gonna mini swatch party, because what one of these is complete without a mini swatch party. So this is the shade Rush. Maybe back on, but a bit less. So that's Rush. So that's quite a nice deep red. And then we've got the shade Kisses, which is a brighter red. You can just about see. Yeah, let's use those two. Refa number 2 into the shade Rush. It's more satiny than proper full-on shimmer. I might cheat a little bit, because when I was considering using more than one palette, there was a palette I had in mind. Hold that thought. I feel as though Deadpool would appreciate a bit of pizzazz. So I've gone into Skullz and Roses and I've swatched Trance and Chroma. I wonder if Trance is too shifty. A bit goldy. I might go with Chroma. And it's really just to give a bit more sparkle, because let's face it, the sparkle in Fiery is just not cutting the mustard really, is it? There we go. I just think that's a bit more befitting of Deadpool. I think he'd appreciate that. But I did consider that to do the Deadpool eye full stop. So I might just tidy this up a little bit and then put some concealer on and contemplate how I'm going to finish these eyes. Concealer is on, and while I was away I also put in some liner in my waterline. I put Punch on here. I did not like this. This is very sticky and it doesn't glide, so it really irritated my eye and it started to water to the point where I think this might just go straight in the bin. I can't see me using this again because I really didn't like that. I might try once more on another occasion, but Punch, no. And I was about to say, I wonder if it's a problem with the matte colours, because I haven't had that issue with any of the shimmery ones. But I used Exit, the white one, the other day, and that was lovely and creamy, but this one is waxy and dry. Not keen at all. And on this side I've used All Smudge No Budge from Made by Mitchell in the shade Legendary. So this was waxy and a little bit of tug, but nowhere near as much as Punch had. So this I would use again. It's not as pleasant, but my eyes didn't water like it did with Punch. It worked. It did what it needed to do. Seeing as I've got Skullz and Roses here and the mirror is much more compact and easier to hold, I'm going to keep that while I do my under eyes. Refa 13. I'm cleaning off as much of the black pigment as I can. Wolverine side. Let's try Daffodil. I know that's super bright. It doesn't seem to be sticking at all. I think it's just too light. Let's try Blonde, which is kind of in between yellow and orange. I'm wiping off that pigment on my 13 and I'm dipping into lipstick for the Deadpool side. Yeah, see that sticking? I said it before and I'll say it again, yellows are just hard. And then my Zoeva 230 into Raven. I'm not sure how tidy that is, and I feel like I just dumped an entire boatload of black eyeshadow into my eye then. Oops. I kind of want a white shade, but I think for what I'm thinking, just a very, very light shade full stop might be enough. Oops, if this ruins everything. So my Refa number 3, and I'm going into the shade Soft, which is almost like a deepened bone shade, shall we say. A little bit lighter than Crowned here, I would say. And that is for the Deadpool side. I did contemplate dipping into another palette just for like a silver shade, but this I think is okay. So now here's the fun bit. I'm not going to hold all of these up, but I've got a handful of, let's see how many I can hold up. This is very clumsy. There we go, you can kind of see them. I picked up a handful of these Kaima Cosmetics wet liners to use. I've got 10, 12? I think I've got 12 in total. And one of them is a black called Cola. I suck at doing eyeliner, etc. on camera, but we're going to try it today. We're going to try it. So I'm going to go and get some water and a brush that I can use. And I think I'm going to, let's see how it goes on the Wolverine side, because that's the main side that I want to attempt this on. And then if it works, then I'll try to kind of replicate something similar, but perhaps not as dramatic on the Deadpool side. 315 Zoeva Fine Liner. Let's try that, because I think that's too big, because that's what I tried before, the ME12. But let's try this Zoeva one. Gosh, you need more water than you think. That might be too much water. Oops. It's supposed to look like a melted ice cream. That doesn't look like a melted ice cream. That's looking a bit more like a melted ice cream. Let's give this a try. Wish me luck, guys. I'm about to be holding my breath for the foreseeable future. Well, this wing is meant to be extra. I don't know if I meant for it to be that extra. Never done this before, so obviously the best time to attempt to do this is on camera. I think that would be too much for the Deadpool side, but for Wolverine, I'm quite happy with that. Should we just do normal on this side? There we go. I'm pretty pleased with that. Did I say they were done? I think so. I'm going to think what I'm going to put on my lip. It's probably going to be a black lippy. Yeah, probably going to be black, because that's going to be what goes with both, isn't it? Right, now I'm going to finish everything off and then I'll be back. I am all done, and as per usual I have zoomed you right in so that you can see both eyes up close and finished. And here we have the Wolverine side and the Deadpool side. Wolverine, Deadpool. Do you have a favourite side? I mean, that wing is something, but that was kind of the point. Yeah. Maybe I should have gone equally big wing. But no, I kind of like it. At this point, I believe I've showed you everything I've used to do my eyes. So the Glisten wet liner in the shade Cola, which is the black, and I did also use a bit of my Clinique eyeliner just to kind of sharpen things up a bit there, and that's what I used on my other eye. Bit of bronzer, the Charlotte Tilbury blush. I've just gone in with this NYX Buttermelt blush in the shade Butter Than Before. And I did go with a black lippy, but what I've done is the shade Trance, so that's Trance there, I just kind of dabbed a little bit on my lips just because I didn't just want black, I wanted something a bit more. And if Wolverine gets this big massive wing, then I think that Deadpool almost needs to make an appearance somewhere else a little bit. And I think that's it. I think I kept it quite simple today because it was mainly just about the eyes and recreating Deadpool, well no, that's Wolverine and Deadpool. It was interesting actually to revisit Fiery, and I'm glad I did reuse it, because as good as Beauty Bay are, the yellows in here are just, they're not it. They're not it. Sun is nice. I mean, that's a shimmer and that's different. But the matte yellows in here, no, not keen at all. I mean, they're not horrendous. If I'd used a super light base, then you would see them, but sometimes you don't want to use a super light base. You just want to be able to use your go-to base and make them show up. Definitely good in other ways, this palette, because I did use that to dupe Monk from Fenty Cosmetics, and I do like the look I got out of that. But it's just worth bearing in mind that the yellows in here are subpar. But it was a tenner, so I'd have been astounded if I'd been impressed with the yellows in here. I'm not gonna lie, just saying. Oh, and where did I put my mascara? I think it's time, guys. I forgot I did use this as my mascara today. This is the Rimmel Thrill Seeker, which I've been using. It's been longer than 6 months, I'm not gonna lie. But I just used it today and I was eking it. It was a struggle, so it's been an absolute pleasure, Rimmel Thrill Seeker, but it is now time to say goodbye. It's just gone in the bin. Ooh, what mascara am I going to be using next? I know I like the Pat McGrath Dark Star, but I'm a bit bitter about Pat McGrath. I don't know if I want to be using her products anytime soon. But I've got a few others. I might kind of do a bit of a lucky dip and pull one out to be using. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to do this look. This is one of the first combos actually that came to mind, so I'm surprised it's taken me until almost the end of the month to do this one. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. Bit random, I know, but I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye.